Hey guys, it's Sandeep from Rev Atlas and welcome to the review of the OnePlus 5. Let's get this started. Let's start with the design itself. The OnePlus 5 is possibly the best looking smartphone that OnePlus has ever produced, thanks to its really slim frame, the horizon line that runs all across the device, and also the anti-fingerprint coating at the back. So while it does have some similarities in terms of design to the iPhone 7 Plus, the design is not exactly a copy, and I think that this in fact looks better than the iPhone 7 Plus, especially when you consider the ergonomics and the overall handling of the device itself. Now the OnePlus 5 is also quite a bit lighter than the iPhone 7 Plus, which also has a same 5.5 inch screen. Coming to a screen, the OnePlus 5 has a 5.5 inch 1080p display. We don't get any bump in terms of resolution, and overall the bezels also seem to be more or less similar. What's different is that the corners are now a bit more rounded compared to the OnePlus 3 and 3T devices. You get an Optic AMOLED 1080p display and is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, which has curved edges all around in 2.5D fashion. So the smartphone is powered by a Snapdragon 835 processor and is one of the first smartphones to do so. It comes in two different variants, one with 6 gigs of RAM and the other with 8 gigs of RAM, and you get 64 gigs as well as 128 gigs of storage respectively. You can't expand the storage using microSD cards since all you get is a dual SIM card slot. So while it does support 4G LTE and VoLTE, there's no support for expanding storage through microSD cards. At the bottom you have a USB Type-C port, but the Type-C port supports only USB transfer speeds of just 2.0, which is not ideal considering that this is supposed to be a flagship replacement or a flagship competitor from OnePlus. Overall, the performance is really fluid, and that's one of the strong points of the OnePlus 5. It has Android 7.1.1 currently and is running on a stock ROM or something that's almost stock, and that gives you really good performance and really fluid use overall. Now coming to the camera itself, we have done a separate camera review of the OnePlus 5, but in case you haven't seen it, click here to do so, and I'll just give you a gist of how the camera works. You have two different cameras at the back, one with 16 megapixels of resolution and the other with 20 megapixels of resolution, which is a telephoto camera. Now there is a certain issue when it comes to the optical zoom itself, since OnePlus 5 has promised 2x optical zoom, but what you're getting is essentially 1.6x optical zoom, and the remaining 0.4 is done through Smart Zoom, which is a bit of a digital zoom and essentially gives you an overall resolution of just 16 megapixel at the end of the day. Now at the front too, you have a 16 megapixel camera, and the front camera is really great, as we have come to understand. It's one of the most detailed cameras and one of the best in terms of dynamic range as well that we have seen on smartphones recently. Inside the device you have a 3300 mAh battery that still supports fast charging in the form of dash charge, but you have to use the default charger and the cable in order to get the full charging speeds. The battery life is okay, but it's not all that great, and although the latest update improves the battery life, I still feel that it's not as good as the OnePlus 3T was, and maybe they can do something in order to fix this in future software updates as well. Coming to the audio quality, the OnePlus 5 has a bottom firing speaker that's a mono speaker, but the volume output is pretty good and the sound quality is also good. It would have been nice to have a stereo speaker experience, one that possibly used the earpiece itself as the secondary speaker, but we don't have that option as of now. The other thing is that the call quality is great, the messaging is also pretty good, and overall the connectivity is great on the OnePlus 5 as well, as it comes with Bluetooth 5.0 and dual band Wi-Fi 802.11. Overall, the OnePlus 5 is a really great smartphone for the money that you're paying for it. $32,999 for the 6GB version with 64GB of storage, and Rs 37,999 for the 8GB RAM model with 128 gigs of storage. If you ask me whether this is the handset that provides the maximum value for your money, I would have to be inclined to say no, considering that the Honor 8 Pro is now out, and I find that that is a smartphone that gives the best value for money currently on the market. Now when it comes to the smartphone camera experience, if you ask me whether this is the best, again I'll have to say no, and I would still lean on to the Honor 8 Pro or the LG G6 as well. If you have around 40,000 rupees to spend, then your choice of options would be the Honor 8 Pro, the OnePlus 5 and the LG G6, but if you have around 30,000 rupees to spend, then you would be better off getting the Honor 8 Pro itself instead of spending additional 3,000 rupees and getting the OnePlus 5 for yourself. That is, unless if you find performance to be the benchmark and to be your highest priority, in which case OnePlus 5 takes the cake and beats both the Honor 8 Pro as well as the LG G6 in terms of performance. That's it for the video, guys. If you have any questions, do let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. See you again in the next one. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to get the latest updates from us. Thanks for watching this video. See you again in the next one.